So it's there's a mixed group here. Many of you have been following Guru Purnima for 500 years plus. So I don't need to talk about it very much, to be honest. But there are some here, I think, who don't know what it is. So I'll be giving a general discussion on Guru Purnima. So if you know it already, you can just have a cup of tea or something, whatever you want. So it's something that's been practiced or followed in India for many, many years, thousands of years actually, known as Guru Purnima because the Guru is the teacher, and I'll explain the significance of the teacher in a minute for those who don't know actually. And Purnima means the full moon, and I'll explain the significance of the full moon also a little bit later. But remember, this is a sharing process. I'm not actually, you may not think so, but I'm not very much into giving lectures. So towards the end, we'll do a meditation, and I certainly welcome questions or comments or answers on the chat box, which is there on the right-hand side of the screen. So remember, I get inspired when I get feedback, and I get bored with the sound of my own voice. So bear that in mind. So it's very much celebrated in India, in Hinduism, and in Buddhism also, outside of India mostly. In Sikhism, of course. In Sikhism, you have the gurus. We find it's discussed in many of the, not discussed, it's kind of embodied in many of the yogic texts. For example, the Bhagavad Gita. This takes place in an exchange between a guru, a teacher, Krishna, and the student, Arjuna, the warrior, the fighter, the soldier. And that's an extreme example of satsang, and extreme example of the relationship between guru and disciple. Ashtavakra Gita, one of my favorite texts also. It's a discussion between the guru, Ashtavakra, and the disciple, the king, Janak. A very fantastic book. And Yoga Vasishta, again, I'm always mentioning the Yoga Vasishta. And this is the discussion between Rama, the disciple in this case, and the sage Vasishta. So it's there in many, many texts. There are many others also. This is just to give you an idea. But it's not only in India. We find that the sense of sharing between guru and disciple is there. For example, in Sermon on the Mount, I always think that's an example of where the guru, Christ, Jesus Christ, is sharing with the students, the disciples, in Sermon on the Mount. We find it there in Sufism, of course, very much part of the Sufi tradition. And we see it exemplified in the relationship between Rumi and his teacher, his guru, Shams Tabrizi. And we also find it in a modern sense. There's so many examples. I'm just giving you an idea that Guru Purnima is not something alien to anyone on the planet, actually. For anyone who's seriously on the spiritual path, the concept and the fact of a guru-disciple relationship is absolutely fundamental. And we see it in those extraordinary books by Castaneda, when he talks about Don Juan and Castaneda's relationship with Don Juan. That is a continuous process in the Yaqui Indian tradition in Central America. So it's nothing alien. And also we find, of course, in any subject, it doesn't need to be yoga or any other subject. It can be mathematics, can be gardening, it can be cooking. You always learn from someone. there are very few people who don't need a teacher, to be honest. In the spiritual arenas, one I can think of course, is Ramana Maharshi, who lived in South India. And apparently he didn't have a guru. Somehow he was immediately in touch with the inner guru. So this is to be remembered. What does the guru mean? Well, first of all, do you need to find a guru? No, you don't. The best preparation for finding the guru, whether the guru is a form, a human being, whether it's something in nature, or whether it's the inner guru, the best preparation is not desperately searching for a guru, but actually preparing yourself by practice, meditation, yoga, reflection, any of the forms of yoga that we teach in Mandala Yoga Ashram, and which I have talked about so many times in these satsangs. So the best preparation, you don't need to go desperately searching for a guru. Some people do, of course. There are many interesting stories of people in India and outside of India too, who have this inner longing to go and find a guru. That's also there, but for most of us, we don't need to do that. The best preparation is to prepare ourselves to be open, to purify, I don't like the word purify, but to remove some of the blockages that we have through daily life, the interactions of daily life, but also through through regular practice, maybe going to a yoga class or giving a yoga class. You see, all these things, they give a preparation, and then whatever you need will be presented to you. On a personal level, I must say, when I first met my guru, my embodied guru, Swami Satyananda, I hadn't a clue about a guru. I didn't have any idea. Really, I had no idea. I wasn't searching for a guru. What I was searching for was some kind of meaning and depth in my life at a young age. That is absolutely true. But the idea of searching for a guru, it was completely out of my thinking. It wasn't part of my personality. But then it happened, you know, something moved from within. And the thing that I think most of us who practice yoga will realize, that we get a lot of inspiration from within. And looking back on my life, I can honestly say that I was almost thrust to meet my physical guru in India. There's no question. I was not wise enough to make decisions on this front, but the inner guru, which is actually the real guru, was pushing me into certain directions. And this will apply to all of you also. Life pushes us in certain directions, and in those directions we can learn. So what is the guru? I've just said the real guru is what is called in Sanskrit the Antaryami, the inner being. And I would say in the modern context, this is the conscious presence. That element that is conscious within us is not even with us. It's the very nature of what we are as embodied beings. Conscious presence, that is the guru. That is the real guru. And any external guru's function is to make us turn our attention or start to identify with the inner guru. That is how it works. So there's only one guru actually, and that is the inner guru. And you can take this or leave it. There is only one guru for all of us. And you may think, well, my guru is so-and-so and my guru is this person. No, they are gurus, yes, but they are to take us to the real guru, which is the inner consciousness the conscious presence, Atma, we may say in Sanskrit, or Chaitana, we can use these words in Sanskrit. So we meet people, we have a yoga teacher, or we go to a retreat or a course, and we are inspired by the person or the people who are teaching. And these kind of show us where we are blocked, where we have concepts. And, you know, most of our concepts are wrong, I can assure you. On spiritual level, I can honestly say that our concepts don't help us. Not really, they block us. They always say, and this is a cliche, but it's a very true cliche, the function of the guru is not to teach us anything, but to remove our concepts and our blockages. It's a process of removal. It's not a process of teaching, which is a bit strange because in teaching, we always assume we have to learn this and learn that and read this book. Yeah, it's all good stuff. It's part of life, absolutely. And being a confirmed bookworm, or I used to be anyway, I mean, I understand the great joy and inspiration that can come from books. So we may have contact with our teacher, our local yoga teacher, and for us, that person, she or he, is a teacher, and they have the capacity, whether they know it or not, to help us on the path to realizing what we are in our deepest sense. And that is where the guru is always waiting. Now, there's I've been thinking about this obviously many years, and I think this guru principle in Sanskrit, it's called Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva means the essence of guru. It's I think it's embedded into nature, because there is a force within all of us that makes us try to learn. We have curiosity as young kids especially. You know, it's a force which wells up in all of us and makes us search. And this, I think, is embedded in the very structure of nature, and in particular, of course, in human beings. I can't say this applies to other creatures that we know about on planet Earth. It may be there with dolphins, who knows, I don't know, maybe, but it's a principle that is universal, I would say, and it is there in all human beings, and it makes us search for fulfillment, and in certain individuals. And for me, this is a big mystery. This is more mysterious than even the guru principle, which I take to be absolute fact. The most mysterious thing is that this principle on the spiritual path seems to be more evident in some people than others. Now, obviously, everyone sitting here, it's evident because you wouldn't be sitting here otherwise. So that is the mystery for me, why certain people are drawn to spirituality, and in this way, the inner guru is pulling them, pulling us, guiding us from within. And it doesn't need to be lovey-dovey. My teacher was a tough character, actually. He wasn't a lovey-dovey type person. He was tough. And I can only think, and I know in fact, that toughness was evidently the medicine that I needed. There's no question. Lovey-dovey sometimes, yeah, a bit of lovey-dovey stuff. It's much appreciated. But you know, you don't. And this is another thing that's we don't have to love our guru. They always say, you know, you should love your guru. No, not necessarily. It depends on the relationship. You know, you may, even at a yoga class, you may not particularly like your teacher, but you respect the fact that your teacher has certain things that help you, and you can learn from your teacher. Of course, it's easier if there is compassion and appreciation and love for your teacher, but it may not be always necessary, to be honest. And so that's really important. So the thing that's most important is not to desperately search. What you need is where you are now. And the best preparation, I repeat, is to work on yourself, be open, ask questions, have the courage to do things which maybe you wouldn't normally do. You know, we're creatures of habit. We tend to stick in our own little corner, and that may not be useful. You know, if we move out of our little corners, then things can be revealed to us. We don't have to. Everyone is different, but this is this is the process of preparing our own personality so that it can be a transmitter, if you wish, or a lucid channel for the inner guru. So different meanings of guru. The inner guru I've mentioned, and then the external guru, in my case Swami Satyananda, and you may have a guru, a physical guru. That's absolutely perfect. And in the yogic texts, you see, the yogic texts are actually quite extraordinary because they cover a wide spectrum of possibilities. And there is a text, I forget the name of it, but it was ascribed to Dattatreya, Guru Dattatreya. He lived in Western India maybe 1,000 years ago, or maybe slightly less. And he said that he had 24 gurus. And you think, well, it must have been so-and-so and this person. No, his gurus were aspects of nature. One of his gurus was the moon, very apt for Guru Purnima. One of his gurus was the sun. One of his gurus was animals and so forth, because these taught him about the functioning of nature. So he gave a list of 24 gurus, which kind of opened his eyes to the extraordinary, and I would say mystical nature of the universe in which we live. So that's really important. So what is this Guru Purnima? So as I said, the Purnima means full moon, and it's always, in India at least, it's always celebrated on the month of Ashar. It's a lunar month, and sometimes you get two Guru Purnimas actually. In India, when I lived there, on certain years we celebrated the Guru Purnima twice, which was great fun, I must say, because we know the lunar and the solar calendars don't always, well, they don't overlap. So it does happen occasionally that you get two Guru Purnimas in 1 year. So I was very happy about those years. We had a double celebration of singing, chanting, dancing, and all kinds of things. So the moon, as we know, it goes from the dark moon and it grows to its fullness in the full moon. So this symbolizes that the fullness of our understanding or wisdom or identification, it's symbolized that the moon grows to its fullest. This is the symbolism of the full moon. But it's more than that. We all know very well that the light of the moon doesn't come from the moon. The light of the moon comes from the sun, but from our perspective, it seems to come from the moon, which it doesn't. It's reflected light. So this indicates a number of things, and it indicates that, again, the inner guru is something which is beyond the individual who's sitting in front of us. It's coming from another level of being, which is symbolized by the sun. So that's important. There's two symbols there in the full moon. The fact of growing to its fullness, and And the word Purna means fullness also. The actual word Purna means fullness. So it's a process in each of us where we mature and we grow to our fullness. So this is the symbolism. It could be every year, actually, every month. It could be every month, because every month there is a full moon. But this is chosen in India, and we respect this tradition in the yogic world, in the Western world also, because it is, in the past at least, it's not the case now, it was the start of the monsoon period. And that was a period when many spiritual practitioners, sadhus, they found a place to stay during the monsoon, during the rainy season, where they could do their practice. So the full moon was the start of this 4-month period. It's called Chatur Mas. Chatur means 4 and Mas means month. The start of the 4 months of serious, solitary, possibly, practice. So that's why it was chosen in this particular time in India. It coincided with the start of the monsoon. Of course, it's not the case now. The monsoon starts at all times. Possibly in the past it was more stable, I don't know. But that's the reason that this particular date is chosen. So, qualities of the disciple, and we're all disciples actually. We're all searchers, seekers. We're all trying to find sense in our life, and we're trying to find sense in ourselves. There's certain qualities that aid this, and this would be sadhana, the Sanskrit word sadhana. Sadhana means practice. So this means we do meditation, we do yoga asana, pranayama, whatever. We do mantra. That's really important. And of course, we live in a busy world. And as I've always emphasized, you don't need to beat yourself up if you can't give an hour every day. You do what you are able to give, but at least once every day, even if it's for 3 minutes, you stop and open the heart to this mystery of our life. You don't need to practice 3 hours. If you can, that's fantastic. But it's the quality of time, not the length of time. If you do it for 3 minutes, chant your mantra, or just reflect, or you just remain in a spacious sense, this is far better even than practicing for 3 hours and the mind is thinking about cinema and good food and having fun and all kinds of things. It's the quality. So sadhana really means practice, opening ourselves up to a wider or deeper dimension of being, our own being and the being of everyone. So sadhana is fundamental. Shraddha, another word which you know very well, most of you, Shraddha means trust. Having trust in a process and going where things maybe you don't want to go, but you're being pushed, flowing with the current. And sometimes in the current, of course, you have to make a lot of noise. Doesn't mean we become passive. Flowing with the current, having trust that, yes, this life is taking me in certain directions, but I have this trust, not blind trust, not gullible, nothing gullible, no credulity, but having this basic trust that there is a process that is going on in me and I am flowing with it. And of course, life tests us. Sometimes we really don't want to go into certain things. We don't want to hear certain things. But I'm not saying we need to hear everything, but basic trust, Shraddha, really important. And the other one is mumuksha, another Sanskrit word, mumuksha. These are basic principles. And mumuksha means where we aspire to know. And say everyone sitting here has this mumuksha, this aspiration to know. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. There's no question. So these are the aspects of Guru Purnima, and it's a cause. Of course, this is different, but I don't know what people are doing in the ashram. It's part of the YTTC, the Yoga Teacher Training Course. But on a normal year, when there's no COVID, no pandemic, then we'd have a celebration, good food, lots of chanting, and there's some fantastic chants which bring in the Guru principle, the Guru tradition. So we'd have dancing. And I must say, in India, we had some really wild days of constant dancing and singing, and it was really great fun. And it's a chance to share, whether in the ashram or in your own corner, and even now, it's an opportunity to share with like-minded people. We're all different. As personalities, we are, of course, separate, but on the fundamental level of Guru, and this is the deeper meaning of Guru, on the fundamental level of Guru, on the fundamental level of conscious presence, we're not separate. And this is impossible for the personality to understand, because we are identified with our individuality. And this concept that we are all united in one seems to be a bit farfelu. I think it's the French word. It seems a bit over the top. But this is why we do meditation, so that this rigid, unquestioned identification with our personality is allowed to dissolve a little bit. And then we start to get a grasp of this fact that as the ego, as the personality, we are separate, but as conscious presence, we are not. It's as simple as that. I say it's not logical, because our logic functions on the level of the personality, and this understanding, this mystical, spiritual understanding, it transcends our logic. But I say it's nothing that you need to believe. It's a question of having that as a proposition and allowing it to just be there. We don't need to believe in it. But, you know, life is far stranger than we think. And even in the universe, we see with our eyes all the time, the universe is revealing its secrets. Almost daily, you can read new research and new discoveries. I mean, it's infinite. The gifts of the universe are infinite, and our understanding of it must be minuscule, and it's opening more and more. So it shouldn't surprise us also that on the inner level, it's not really inner because it includes the inner and the outer, but on the level of conscious presence, there is something that is far beyond our logical assumption. So, main things: preparation to find the Guru, whether it's your teacher, your yoga teacher, whether it's at a special seminar or something. Prepare, or it is to find the inner Guru. Preparation. And the preparation part, of course, is sadhana. Sadhana, practice. It's a preparation. Yeah, it gives us, makes us feel good, generally. It makes us de-stress. Yes, of course. It gives us health benefits. Yes, of course. But the real reason for sadhana, I would say, is so that we can meet the Guru. That's what I think. And it can be any level. It can be your embodied Guru, but most fundamentally, it is the inner Guru. So sadhana, fundamentally, that is the reason for sadhana. It is so that we are enabled to meet. Meet is the wrong word, but why not? Meet the inner Guru. So I would suggest, and I think when we do a meditation in a minute, we will do it anyway, a sankalpa, a resolution, so that we we make a resolve on this sacred day. I mean, every day is sacred, but this is a particularly sacred day for yoga practitioners, for spiritual practitioners in India and here, anywhere. It is a golden opportunity. There is an energy. So if we repeat the sankalpa, whatever it is, each person will have their own sankalpa. If you repeat it with this collectivity that we have here and in the wider world, because there are millions of people worldwide, especially in India, of course, who are celebrating this day with us. So it's an opportunity to make this sankalpa, this resolution, this resolve, and it's an opportunity to share with others too. So that's about it. I think that's a general introduction. I'm sure I've missed out more than I've given. I'm sure there's much more we could say. And maybe this will come if there are any questions which seem to be coming up. Nara, do you want to read out the questions? Nara, are you there? Hello.
Hi.
Do you want to read out the questions? Because the screen I've got is quite a long way away.
Will do. First one, quelle est la relation entre le gourou antérieur et l'intuition? What is the relation between the guru, the inner guru, and intuition?
Yeah, I think I tell you, yeah, I can say, I'll explain this in yogic terms. Actually, all of you know the chakra system, and all of you, and most of you at least, will know that intuition is related to the Agya chakra, the third eye. Of course, it applies on all the chakra levels actually, but it is mainly the third eye, the Agya chakra. Now, in the chakra system, and it's not so well given, there's also another chakra which is called the Guru Chakra. Now, you might know, though, this is the Chakra Symbolism to explain the difference. And of course, the Guru really is the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petal lotus, the conscious presence. It's symbolic. It's not here actually, but it's symbolically placed here, top of the head. The Guru Chakra, it's in between. It's in between the Guru principle, if you like, and the intuitive faculties of the Agya Chakra. So this means that we have lots of intuition, and we use, most of us anyway, we have intuitive flashes, but the function of the Guru Chakra, it's above intuition actually. Intuition is part of it, but the Guru function is a way of drawing individuals into realizing this Guru Tattva. So it's actually between the functioning of intuition, which is the Agya Chakra, and the inner Guru, or conscious presence, or Atma, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It's in between. It uses intuition, but it is not. It's a more profound state actually than intuition, because it's a creative state. It is pulling us, and you can take this or not, it's up to you. It's pulling us into all kinds of situations where we let go of our assumptions and our beliefs. So I think that answers the question symbolically. So it uses intuition, yes, absolutely, but actually its function is more than intuition. It is a process of drawing individuals back in to identifying with consciousness. So, je n'avais pas expliqué en français, excusez-moi. Une autre fois, j'explique en français. Il faut avoir un autre satsang. Pas maintenant. J'expliquerai. What's the next one?
Maybe some people have developed far in former lives, and so they seem to be very wise in spite of age.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. It's certainly a fact that I'm astounded by some kids. They bring up stuff and you think, wow, where did that come from? I'm sure everyone here has seen that many times, where young kids just come up with such insight, such wisdom. And where does it come from? Where does the fact that you get these musical prodigies, they can play the piano at the age of 3. Life is more mysterious than we think, that's for sure. The idea that we develop from zero when we are born, and it's a process of accumulation through our life. This is very, very, very simplistic, actually. And we know very well from a young age, there are tendencies within all of us which are different. Okay, you may try and explain that by the DNA, but that doesn't explain anything really, because we get our DNA from mother and father, but sometimes the kids have certain tendencies which are completely different to the parents, So it's a very simplistic understanding which we have in the modern world, which most of us kind of buy into, even if we're practicing yoga, where we develop from the age of, from the womb, right the way till our dying day. No, that's very, very, very simplistic, actually. There is, we inherit tendencies. And you can, one theory on this is, yes, that certain people have practiced yoga or spirituality or whatever it is in a previous life, and therefore they are taking on the fruit of this in this life. Maybe, and that's a nice convenient explanation for this mystery of the fact that we all have different tendencies, and the fact that some people are drawn to spirituality even when they're really, really young. I mean, I wasn't. I don't think I was anyway, but some people are. So yeah, it could be. I don't think much in terms of past lives. I'm sure it's true somewhere, but I don't function in that way. What I do think, there are processes in the Akashic records, in the collective unconscious, which in the past individuals have played into and done their bit, and it's all written there in the collective unconscious. And as individuals in this life, we draw on that experience. So someone may never be drawn to spirituality because they haven't tapped in to that pattern in a past life, or a pattern, I would say, in the collective unconscious. So yeah, we are creatures of the past, whether the past is a past life, one theory, or whether the past is the ever-present tendencies which are there in the collective unconscious, or the Akashic records. But yeah, every person here possibly is drawn to yoga and spirituality because of some pattern. Past life, maybe. Because of the Akashic record, maybe. It's far more mysterious than our concepts, that is sure. And yeah, that's it. Next question.
We can have many teachers, great teachers often, but for me, when I met my Guru, there was a feeling of coming home. I knew the search was over. Many other teachers appeared in life whom I greatly respect, but they were not my guru. Please, can you explain this phenomenon?
Yeah, I think it's very evident that there is one particular person who somehow it just puts in the last peg or something, and you realize, or you start to realize just what you are on a spiritual fundamental level. The other teachers, the other gurus, they also have their place, and one may not be better than the other. Actually, it's our tendency to compare. This is better than this. My guru is better than your guru, and all this kind of nonsense. But it's maybe one person who just fills in the last jigsaw, or starts to fill in the last few jigsaws, something like that, and click. And then you have this feeling of coming home. Yeah, I've had that strong feeling myself in a different way. I mean, I must say, when I lived in India, I felt at home. I don't know why, but I felt as though I was home in India. But yeah, I can appreciate that it's for certain people, when you meet someone who really draws you into that kind of feeling of identification or meaningfulness or fulfillment or joy, then it gives you this sense of coming home. And of course, that is coming home, actually. Whether you live in India or you live here or where you live, that's a physical home, yeah, that's for sure. But the real home is absolutely the inner guru. The real home is consciousness. That is the real home. And we only have one home, fundamentally, and our home is the same. Next one.
I think this is around the words of Purnima group. In Purnamadaha, this is the full. The word full could be exchanged for the word moon, and then somebody else comes in. Purna is full. It is a different spelling, I believe, to the meaning of moon, though they could be linked. Swamiji, clarify this, please.
Yeah, the moon could be full, and even though the full was taken from the full, still the full moon stays. Yeah, I mean, in Latin, in the transliteration there, of course, you can see Purnamadaha, but it's not actually. It's not the moon there, but it's a nice way of putting it, and why not? It's not the same word, but yeah, we can twist things, and we can get some meaning out of it, and yeah. And funny enough, as I often said, I think there's the one full moon in the sky. We will all see it from our perspective, and if we look into puddles of water or reflective surfaces, we see reflections of the moon, and but it's still one moon. So that's an interesting phenomenon that we see in nature, where we can see all these different reflections of the moon, and they may be slightly different, but the very basis of those reflections is just one moon in the sky. So that's another symbolism we can say for the full moon. But yeah, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, it's a fantastic mantra, very meaningful mantra, I must say, but it's slightly, well, maybe you can see some kind of relevance there, and I'm sure you can, but they're quite different, actually. Purna means full, of course. What's the next question?
What you have said about the monsoon period as the original genesis of sadhana makes me wonder if it would be appropriate to make a sankalpa for a particular 4-month sadhana. I've never done that. I've always regarded Guru Purnima as a celebration on one day. Thanks to you on this auspicious day.
Yeah, we'll use this auspicious time to do it in a minute. I'm going to do a meditation with you in a minute, and in that we will use this resolution sankalpa, and it can not just for today, but it will continue from now on for 4 months. Yeah, 4 months if you want. You can choose the time of your as you wish. It can be for the next year, it can be for the rest of your life. Depends on the sankalpa, the resolution. It depends on you, really. But yeah, it's a nice thing to do. You make a resolution, and you make a resolution maybe that you'll practice so many mantras for the next month or the next 4 months, or you'll practice every morning for half an hour, 1 hour, whatever. It's a nice thing to do. That's it, I think, isn't it, Narad?
There's one last comment.
Okay.
Which is, there is also the finger pointing at the moon symbol.
Oh, yeah. So many. That's very true. Excuse me.
And that's it.
Yeah, there's so many symbols associated with the moon, that's for sure. And yeah, that's a fantastic, I love it. The finger pointing at the moon. It's a very, very beautiful symbol, of course. And yeah, and the guru, whatever understanding you have of the guru, it's to take our obsession away from the fingertip to the moon. Otherwise, we're looking at the fingertip and not looking at the moon. And that's a metaphor actually for our life. We are designed as human beings to be looking here, there, and everywhere, but we don't look to see what it is that is looking. It's a good metaphor for the finger pointing at the moon. We're all looking. We're looking for here, looking there. We're trying to get meaning through this. We're trying to get some kind of sense from this. We're trying to get some fulfillment from that. It's all good stuff. Huh? We're not denying this. This is part of the play of life. And it's an extraordinary fact that we do this. But the joke is, or the strange thing is, but it's the way it is, we don't actually ask this question. Who is looking, actually? Who is looking and who's looking outside? They say, that consciousness is experiencing itself through our eyes. So you're looking, it's consciousness that is experiencing itself through your eyes, through my eyes. It is consciousness that is experiencing itself through my ears, your ears. And this changes the whole perspective. But it's difficult to relate to this as individuals, but that's actually, in my opinion, a very wise way of understanding it. Each human being, each creature actually, is a means for consciousness, for reality, for God, if you wish, for anything, conscious presence, to experience itself. Now you may say, well, it doesn't need to experience itself. That's a philosophical conundrum that's been going on for who knows how long. This is the idea that it doesn't need to, this reality doesn't need to experience itself because it is. But then, reality is far beyond our concepts and our capacity to try and explain everything. And I think it's a nice way of putting it. We are ways by which reality can experience itself. Herself, himself, itself, whatever you like. So on this day, we're going to do a meditation before we close. Really important, most important, to sit quietly. So on this day, I really want to give my fondest regards to you, and may the Guru function in your life, whether you meet people who inspire you or you inspire others, or whatever your definition of Guru. May this day be a reminder of the mystery of our life and the fact that we have been blessed with the possibility of realizing the nature of this mystery. So let's leave all this talk. Move your body to remove any stiffness. And then take a comfortable position. Eyes closed. Feel the solidity of your body. And imagine your body as an empty vessel. And anyone and everyone can be your guru on a certain level. So go back into your childhood and think and pay respects to those people who inspired you. For example, I can feel inspired by my mother and by teachers at school who really, really inspired me. So go back to your childhood. Remember those people who really inspired you and helped you and maybe guided you in the process of growing up, of becoming an adult. They were most important in the process of your life. And then as you get older, bring your attention to your teenage years and think of people who inspired you then. And pay respects to them. And in adulthood, think of those people who inspired you in any way, and possibly also on the path of yoga. think how blessed you have been to meet these people. And to the present day, think of those who inspire you, and appreciate and give thanks to those people who are inspiring you. And bring your attention to the heart space. Full attention in the heart space. With an attitude of openness. Repeat the sankalpa, the resolution, the resolve that you have chosen. And allow the heart space to expand. Feeling as though you are dissolving, your personality is dissolving in this expanded heart space. and you are conscious in this moment. There is no question. I am conscious. Or conscious presence. I am conscious presence. Identify with conscious presence. So now you can move your body. So I wish you all a wonderful Guru Purnima.